was an interesting time because whenever we came to the church and realized that this was our church, we had a meeting and we said, okay, great, we're ready and we need to become members. LeAnne needs to be confirmed and baptized and we're getting married all by April. And so their eyes, kind of get wide and they're like, okay, let's do it, So it was very exciting. But as far as, relationships and friendships that really stuck out, when we came here and decided to join the church, it really felt like a second home to us. To me, there's no real relationship or friendship that sticks out specifically. It's really everyone. The community has become part of our family.
When we went all in, so at smaller churches, the supper club is just everyone. So at the time there was multiple different supper clubs, 39 and holding, I think was definitely for the more seasoned member. So we went to a supper club. I actually think it was at maybe Bruce Noller's house. And really everyone was probably 50 and over, and we were in our late 20s, and they all loved it. And so looking back on it, I think we chose the wrong supper club to go to, but they basically said we dropped the average age 20 years that night. But what I think is really cool is that the Episcopal Church is definitely, it's wonderful for young families, but it's also wonderful for people that have been here for a very long time, founding members of the church. And so I think some of our relationships with people that have been here for a long time and a little bit older than us, it really stems back all the way to 13 years ago when we joined. I know another thing that I've always really enjoyed here is at, maybe higher Episcopal churches, a crying baby or a young family with noise is not quite as, it may be frowned upon a little bit. Father Mills from day one has always, welcomed that, because that truly shows growth in the church, right? And if you don't have that, then you don't have growth. And so we made it a point to make sure that we continue to sit in our same seats and not, move towards the back with the kids. And that was an intentional thing. And then when the transepts opened, we decided to come sit kind of where we're at right now and be towards the front of the church, and it feels very comfortable to us. If you want to know the inner workings of this church, you can. If you want to be involved in the growth of the church, you can. But it really does feel like in this part of Dallas here that it is a neighborhood church, but it feels like home. And it truly does for us, because we now live 30 minutes away, and there's never, sometimes people when they move, a friend or a neighbor will say, come to our church, 5 minutes away. But our 30-minute drive on Sunday mornings is a routine. We would never, change that.
And I would just add that, I view this church as being extremely welcoming and inclusive. And so for me, not growing up with a background of going to church every Sunday, it was something I was kind of embarrassed about and nervous about. And it was something that in this church, I never felt embarrassed or nervous, and really just jumped right in. I think one special circumstance that I had was going through baptism and confirmation as an adult, because I think it really has a much more impactful meaning whenever you go through that process when you're a little older. So having that deep dive into the Episcopal Church and everything about it was so helpful to me. And I think that also helps whenever, we have conversations with friends that may not go to church every Sunday. And I recognize that they have that same feeling that I did before I joined this church. And so being able to talk to them about, that doesn't matter. You're welcome, of course. And like Taylor said, you can be as involved as you want to be, or just participate on Sunday until you're more comfortable doing more things. So that's what I really love about the church.
The Good Shepherd is just so great for young families that, get their first home and they have their kids and they're looking for, routine and fellowship. It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel forced. But I think that's really that's why there's such a good foundation of people that have been in an Episcopal church like Good Shepherd for 50 years, is because when they join as that young family, they get everything they want, through it, and why leave?